Oh, yep. I'd like to call Monday, June 3rd, Park and Rec Committee to order. Please stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Changes to the agenda. For approval of the agenda,
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
Don made a motion to approve the agenda. Bernie seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Looking for approval of the May 7th minutes.
I'll make the motion to approve May 7th minutes.
Second.
Motion made by Bernie and seconded by John to approve the April 7th meeting minutes. Public comment?
Call the motion.
Oh, yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Public comment? Seeing no public comment? Ginger?
Okay, we're bringing back the Riverside Park Bait Shop lease agreement. We were able to, or Adam Serby did get a chance to go through the building, and come up with an assessment for the next tax year. And then also, during that time, we had a discussion with, our attorney and CIVMIC about insurance recommendations. The CIVMIC gave us a policy that they're modeling as a $2 million liability. So we've taken that, had the attorney review it, and I don't know if you want to go into that a little bit more.
Yep, I'll just jump in.
Yeah.
Kind of go back in the real estate property, and I don't know if we talk about this in particular, but in the past, the bait shop was assessed under personal property, the building itself and the contents under personal property, because it's not a taxable property, it's city property. So everything came on to the personal property assessment, similar to a municipal airport, that the airport owns all the land, but you got private hangars all over on the property. So that's how the state assessed those type of parcels in the past. Because the state got rid of personal property, the state had to change everything in how to assess a property tax bill to a structure on public property. So the bait shop, similar to a airline hangar on public property, needed to come up with a different way of assessing that. So what's going to happen, the state gave direction to the assessors and said, all right, assessors, what's going to happen is that the city is going to get a tax bill for the structure, similar to a property tax bill. The city's going to have to pay that property tax bill. And then the state has indicated that the cities, municipalities, would turn around and send a bill to the private property owner of the structure to pay back that. So that's why you see this language. And we just found that out in the last couple of weeks. So we thought it'd be a good time to insert that in here. So basically, like you see on the screen, number 17 is stating that we will get a tax bill for the structure. The personal property, the equipment, is no longer being taxed. We're gonna have to pay that tax bill, but then we send a bill to be reimbursed for that property tax assessment. So that's number one. Does that make sense right there before I jump on to the next one? The other part of that is that, like Ginger indicated, we're getting some information from our insurance company that they are recommending us to consider increasing the general liability per occurrence. The standard has been 1 million. There's some indication that they're starting to talk about a $2 million policy. We actually got some information today from CIVMIC that we need to confirm and kind of clarify this, just to make sure that we understand that in this situation that they're recommending a $2 million policy. But as of right now, we are looking at this. In the past, the last contract was $300,000, which that was a little light. I think the $1 million policy is the base at this point in time, but we have to confirm with our insurance company for a $2 million policy. I did ask John to do some research to see, hey, what's $1 million to $2 million policy? John, I don't know if you've gotten some information back on that yet, what that would be, or what your premiums would be for something like that. So at least we have that information to consider as well.
Yes, we did, contact our insurance provider, shop locally for our insurance. Carrie got back to me today, and we actually had more than than the 300,000. We had to go in. So Carrie called me back with good news today. She provided a quote for $2 million for the occurrence, which is the city's requirement, and about $4 million general aggregate, which is more than what the CIVMIC is requesting or recommending. We understand, she understands that people's lawsuits are damages are getting higher with everything. That seems very doable. Obviously, the difference from 6 years ago, there's a lot more language in the contract or in the supplement that was provided. She went through that kind of 11th hour, but didn't seem to feel that it was going to be that much of a burden, given the fact that it's a cost of business. I don't feel like should be any problem with the insurance requirement. But in today's environment, never. But on our end, we think that that's people yeah, it was good news to hear back here today. I think all aspects of this lease as proposed should be able to be met. It's a little more paperwork like reporting and stuff like that than what's been done in the past, but that's for everyone's benefit.
So with that said, one of the things that we've been looking at our insurance companies' model policies that they have out there. And he kind of told Ginger that they're starting to push these policies at $2 million, or consider $2 million. But the model policies, they haven't updated their model policies yet. So we are working with CIVMIC right now to confirm, you know, you're telling us this, is this for sure, but your model policies that you have published out there are not quite there yet. Before we require that, we want to confirm that with CIVMIC. We have to confirm that with our city attorney. This is the draft right now. If it comes back that our after CIVMIC and our city attorney totally review it and they're comfortable in this situation to do $1 million, we might bring that back to the council. Maybe it's more so construction contracts are more of the $2 million because of the risk involved with it. But we just want to make sure we're 100% confident with what the CIVMIC is recommending, what our insurance or what our city attorney is requiring, because this would start setting a pace that we have to not only, you know, charge a situation like the bait shop, but also like our special events. You know, because we require right now we require $1 million policy from our special events. That would affect them as well, on top of any construction contracts that we have. So I know we're in the 11th hour. We're trying to get this information as fast as we can, but we have a meeting tonight. So right now, you know, this is the latest kind of indication from CIVMIC, but we want to make sure that that's what CIVMIC is recommending. Our insurance or our attorneys behind it, and we'll bring that to council moving forward. But we just want to make sure that, because this is going to change, like I said, the special events policy as well.
So just to add to that, our risk manager did say that it will be difficult to require a $1 million or $2 million limit for all contract types. They're not all the same. And so they do recognize that. They have approximately 10 different model types to choose from, whether it be contract or special events. So they do have all of those listed out, but like Chad said, if it's a similar thing, we need to start, being consistent with that, but.
So Johnny, that's what, I mean, we had information last week and then just today Ginger got some other information. So we're like at the 11th hour trying to figure out, what CIMIC is recommending, the attorney is saying and get everything together. So I know I made you do a bunch of work to get cost for a $2 million policy, but we're trying to figure that out as quickly as we can to make sure we're doing the right thing to be consistent with this type of situation and special events moving forward. So
we want to table this then and this will be voted on at council?
we would have that information by council. I'm confident of that. I think Johnny wants to get this going so that we continue to do that. If we have to change something, major, we can hold a special Parks and Rec meeting before council meeting. I mean, that's always doable as well. But I think we want to keep this in the queue because Johnny wants to kind of get this approved, which I think
Get
is,
the rest.
it's a good thing.
So how exactly do you want to have this worded then?
Let's approve,
The same as he's always had?
I would approve it as presented. And then if we get the insurance company and our attorney to modify this 2 million down to 1 million, we can hold a special Parks and Rec meeting before the council meeting to get it right where we got to be and then bring it to council.
So we'd be using the same lease that he used 6 years ago, correct?
With the changes,
The one in the packet.
Yeah, property tax.
that, and as you guys remember, you changed the
Snow plowing.
The plowing.
information as well.
I guess how would you exactly word this? We do all real estate?
My suggestion would be to make a motion to recommend the contract as presented in the packet. And then if we have a staffing recommendation later,
we
we
need
can
to
do a
change it.
special Parks and Rec meeting before the council meeting. We can make this continue it. Let's get it done. We should have that information by the next council meeting, no problem.
So I would look for a motion to approve the bait shop lease agreement as presented in your package.
I'll make the motion to approve the Riverside Park Bait Shop lease agreement as presented in the pack.
Second, John, excuse me, John made the motion. You second it? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
John should abstain.
John?
I'd
John,
like to know that previously I had recused myself from this meeting by coming back here. I have nothing to do with that vote other. This is, right,
The motion was made by John Hess.
John Hass, yeah.
Yes.
She got that. Okay, updates and reports, Ginger.
I guess the biggest one, I've had a lot going on. First of all, I did get the grant submitted, for the overflow dock and overflow parking and courtesy dock. Submitted it for $200,011. 50% of the total project cost estimate. So they received the paperwork. We should find out by August if we got that. Last 2 Fridays ago now, Christine Cross and I attended the Wisconsin Historical Society State Historic Preservation Review Board, and we did get a historical designation for Hatton Park, which is exciting. The press release will go out this Thursday for that. And then the National Review Board, I'm a member of that, sits on the Wisconsin Historical Board. They will be reviewing it further to decide if it receives national recognition. So they have 45 days to review. We'll find out then if then we're on the National Registry as well. So that's exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
Thank you. I've been meeting with SCS Swiderski about the piers over at the Verniger River Walk. Initially, we were hoping to get those in place. We do have to watch for the river to go down to 6.5-ish, just so that we can get to the footings. But now they are not going to be able to do the excavating that we need to have done to get those in place. We're gonna have folks come and look at this site once the fence is down. They are changing fence contractors. I don't know if you noticed, the fence was down over the Wolf River walkway there. They're changing contractors, so they're gonna be removing that fence this week. That way Folks Brothers can go down there and look and see if we can actually get access to that site. They're having a new contractor come in a week from Thursday to put up the new fence. So we have that timeline to go down there, assess the situation a little bit further, and then hopefully get the docks in. We also do have to consider getting them out at the end of the year and just seeing where they are at their project at that time as well. So still having that conversation with their site manager, but I would like to see them in. I know they want to see them in for their ground breaking and things like that. It's good press for them to have piers, you know, on a walkway if you want to rent a place there. So working with them.
Have we ever found out any more about getting the permanent piers in there?
I haven't did any research on it lately. But it's definitely something with all of this going on that I would consider.
Yeah, because otherwise taking
Yeah.
them in and out of there with,
Yeah,
that's not gonna be good.
it's a lot. They seem to say that we'll have all the access that we ever had before to do it. But I picture their ground being a lot nicer and, you know, lush green grass there, and I'm not sure if they understand what we use to get those in and out. So maybe now, once they see that, they'll be like, well, I don't think we want you to do this, so.
Would it be possible to talk to, say, the guys in Shackton?
I've tried to reach out to them several times, and it seems that there's been a big turnover from who did the initial cantilever piers.
Van Stratton
I
doesn't
can't get a hold of them, right? So,
find out what the cost would be to put
yeah,
the piers.
and they built those were not, yeah, they built those by hand, like a volunteer group that did that, so,
Those, they got the stuff from Thompson Metals.
yeah.
Thompson
Yeah,
Metals.
they're definitely not a prefab. Those were a.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That might be something to look into, is what it would
Yeah.
cost to have three of them, or two or three of those put
Mhm.
in there.
yeah. When the river is low, those are kind of they're kind of big for that spot. And just they're bulky and heavy and they've seen their life.
Yeah, that wasn't a good engineering job anyway. Putting something in like that's the ones
Yeah.
that are there. That's not
Yeah.
good.
And I know that they can't withstand ice out and stain over. I don't know if that's what they were intended for or not, but yeah, might have to change that. So, sat down with, Bernie and Rob, or Bob, sorry, about the mowing procedures, last week. We talked about trailering out to remote sites, Northeast Industrial Park, places like that. Also some things that we considered and that the guys are doing now is having lunch on site to, try to minimize that, back and forth on the mowers. Also talked about, having our seasonal crews go out and pick them up for a lunch break, and leave the mower on site, which isn't a big problem, pull the key and pick them up. And so it was a good conversation. I think everything was resolved, and move forward. The Hatton Stadium Foundation met last week. The final coating of the seating has not been finished. It's been scheduled to be finished the last 2 weeks and been pushed off because of the rain. Our hope is to get in Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week. There's a wedding there on Saturday. And then a big thank you to Youth Baseball. They have once again donated to our system an AED to use at Pfeiffer Park. So that was around a $2,000 donation from them. So thank them publicly. Last of all, we have staff recognition and anniversaries for June. We had Devin Jasongvi, Parks caretaker, who will be starting 9 total years with the city on June 10th. He started with us as a seasonal staff and was promoted to full-time in March, on March 30th. I don't have the year there. But Devin is another example of like Jim, where they started here as high schoolers and got promoted through the systems and do a fantastic job, and they're really proud of what they do. So thank Devin for his service. And that is all I have.
Anybody have anything else? Review our next meeting date, Tuesday, July 2nd.
We have any issues with anybody trying to do vacations that week, or do we want to try to double them up on a Monday or something?
Yeah, is there any reason why we can't have like Public Works and Park Department as a double meeting every month?
Don't mind it.
You know, instead of one tonight, one tomorrow night. Same way with like Planning Commission, Economic Development. Have them both on the same night. I mean, we're here anyway. What's another 45 minutes? Then it don't screw up your whole week. You just never mind. You'll get home for wrestling.
I think that's totally up to the committee, council, and the chairs.
I don't have a problem with doubling meetings. I mean, it doesn't have an issue with me.
Especially seeing like the park and the Public Works is relatively the same people in it, minus or one. I guess I don't have an issue on my end. Anybody else?
Anybody else on the committee have a, John, you have anything?
No, I mean, one that would make sense to me is economic development, finance, personnel. Both committees expend money. But
I don't have an issue with it. I guess what,
I don't know how.
I think we're running into trouble with Economic Development and Planning Commission just because the amount of different people.
That could be.
I think proceeding wise, it's
citizen members.
citizens and it's,
Maybe with citizen members.
I think that would be tough.
It all depends on what's on the agenda. Like tonight, he pumped out 2 meetings pretty quick, but planning commission could have a large agenda, but then you're like coming once instead of twice in a week. Hypothetically.
Finance and personnel usually is a longer meeting.
Could
Put one behind that is probably gonna push it quite late. These two, like tonight, I think would be all right, but I think finance and personnel, you're almost gonna have to leave that and leave it alone, because by the time she reads everything to us, sometimes those meetings get quite long.
I think we should look at the meeting minutes and see how long those meetings have been typically. And I know that the planning commission is gonna be digging pretty deep into a lot of stuff soon, so those meetings are gonna be getting longer. And I'm not sure, as the chair of economic development, with the number of citizen members that we have on both planning commission and economic development, if backing up meetings and saying, oh, it'll be following, that's kind of asking them to, be in limbo. So I guess I would like to see the,
I'd like to speak on that, just from the Park and Rec view. I am supposed to have 3 citizen members, so if we were to do Park and Rec and DPW, I would suggest Park and Rec at 5:15, so that they always have a consistent time to be here, so that they're not waiting in the wings for the DPW meeting to come and be finished.
And furthermore, our constituents, they need a time to know what time to show up for what agendas.
But I think DPW and Park and Rec is smart.
that's, yeah.
Park and Rec first and then Public Works
Yeah.
second, because we got what, two citizen
There's
members.
three. There's
yeah,
supposed to
three
be,
citizen Members.
Well, if you have them together, and if you see that one meeting's gonna be a long one, just put the one that, like, Park and Rec, or what, for example, is on Tuesday, it's moved to Monday. If you know that. Oh, you know. That one's gonna be really long, you just put Park and Rec back on Tuesday, just for the time.
I personally like the consistency.
Yeah,
People
I think
know
our
they're
people need
every
to.
Monday, every Tuesday, even if they're not paying attention this month, they know what to look for next month.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the special ones where we have to piggyback and do stuff and to work around holidays and such. Everybody expects that, but you start doing that too much, it's inconsistent and you lose people.
I'm good either way, so.
Well, it's not an
I like
agenda,
the
so
idea, but
we'll
I
have to
think
put it
we
on
have
an
to-
agenda somewhere down in the future to.
Yeah,
Talk
maybe
about it.
have it on next month's agenda for Park and Rec and Public Works, and we can.
for
see.
sure, probably on this.
That way, everybody else on council will get a chance to have their way their input on it too. So,
Would that be a finance and personnel agenda, or what agenda would that be on?
Probably Parks and Rec, Public Works, if those are the two that are.
All different, okay.
Everybody chew on it. We'll figure out where to
Yeah.
place it on the agenda, whether it's council, whether it's something. I say just chew on it for now, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we could
Yeah, I
talk,
think
if we talk about it at council, that way everybody's here, you know, both committees, full committees are here.
You can do that.
Anybody got anything else? Look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
John Nass made the motion. Bernie seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?